Greetings and welcome everyone to our final Tea and Scones for the month of October of 2025. I'm here with Paul and several of the BFS and a few other people here on the deep dives and also in the Zoom. So thank everybody for joining us. Since I have, as always, quite a few things pulled up, we'll go ahead and get started right away. Ellis, would you start us with the invocation, please?
All beings, life forms, thought forms, entities, assemblages, technologies, beingnesses, awarenesses, and all else that exists that do not have our highest interest and are the highest interest of all life everywhere and are not in the highest service to the one and true only living God of all creation I am in thought, form, mind, action, deed, word, and in all ways, and all artificial intelligences and artificial life forms and the technologies they use, smart dust, nanodust, black goo, graphenes, algorithms, operating systems, thought forms, and all other artificial life and all else that is not created by the one true living God I am, we demand all to leave our minds, spirits, bodies, souls, and all that we are on all dimensions, densities, levels, and locations now and forever and never return. All permission to create or maintain attachments, influence from within or without in any way, to cohabitate or possess in part or in whole, to affect or defect in any way, to feed off our energies, our minds, spirits, bodies, or souls, or anything that we are on any dimension, density, level, or location, or alter or change our thoughts, feelings, our mental, physical, emotional, or genetic structure in any way, or create any pain, discomfort, or put us into disharmony with the only God of all creation, I am, is permanently and forever removed. All contracts, obligations, and agreements we have made that are not in our highest interest and or not in the highest interest of all life everywhere, and not in the highest service to the one true living God of all creation I am, we now declare null and void. All emptiness, holes, vacancies, strips, tears, or injuries from the invocation, contract negation, and removal of artificial intelligences are now to be filled with the divine light of the Holy Spirit, the word of the one true living God I am, and the healing and compassion of his only begotten Son, Jesus Christ. All protections and all this invocation are asked for in the name and authority of the one true living God of all compassion, love, light, and creation I am, and his holy Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. As it is said, now it is done, and is sealed now and for all time. Tetelestai.
Beautiful and smooth. Thank you, Ellis. Mabel, would you open us in prayer, please?
hmm Dear Heavenly Father, Father, Mother, God of all creations, the great I am that I am, we praise, honor, and glorify you. Thank you, Father, for all the exposures going on as Jean and Paul come together in friendship and Christ-like love to bring the news from around the world. We are so grateful that you are in control of what is happening and that your beloved Son, the Christ of God, is leading us all back home to you. Thank you for all the peace agreements that your instrument of peace, your beloved President Trump, our beloved President Trump, with his administrative team, have brokered through the guidance of your Son, the Prince of Peace. Thank you, Father, Mother God, I am who I am, for your love and faithfulness to all your children, for all your creation, and for sending your first beheld Son as Jesus Christ, our Redeemer, to earth to teach us your heavenly way to live, as above, so below. You are the Father, Mother, God of all love, all power, all wisdom, and all life. Teleste.
Thank you, Mabel. So now we'll go ahead and start with the many items I have ready to share with you all. It's been a lot of news since just 1 week, and I can't begin to cover everything. I've selected what I feel are the highlights, so on we go.
Wow, Donald Trump is not the first president to spend time remodeling the White House. This is from Distractify. Wow, what can we see here? President Trump's decision to tear down the entire east wing of the White House to build a ballroom has met with controversy, which has naturally led many to wonder which other presidents left their mark on the building. Remodeling the White House is not unprecedented, although Trump has done more than most presidents have to change the structure with no formal approval from Congress. While it remains to be seen exactly how much of the building will exist after Trump's construction is done, we can safely say that it will be a different building when he's done. Here's what we know about which other presidents left their mark on the building. Which presidents remodeled the White House? The cornerstone for the White House was laid in 1791, and John Adams was the first president to live there, even though construction wasn't quite complete. It was originally referred to as the President's House or the Executive Mansion, but the White House became its formal name in 1901, per the White House Historical Association. The first major remodel to the building was not elective, though. After the White House burned down during the War of 1812, President James Monroe tasked James Hoban, the building's original architect, with restoring it. Although much of the building was built back unchanged, Hoban designed two porticos for the north and south faces of the building that have allowed it to take on its signature look. We then have to move forward almost 100 years to 1902, when President Theodore Roosevelt had the building renovated to create the West Wing, per the WHHA. The West Wing, a separate building accessible by a colonnade-flanked walkway, became home to the offices of the President's staff and separated the governmental part of the building from the residence, which was also remodeled to accommodate Roosevelt's large family in 1909. President William Howard Taft commissioned the creation of the Oval Office as part of the West Wing.
Thank you, Paul. Great share. Thank you, sir. And I don't know how many are you aware of, there was a typhoon in Alaska. Can you say weather control? I mean, how does the water be warm enough near the Bering Sea for this to happen? So you can see, essentially, this town has become part of the Bering Sea. And Trump immediately sent in the military to help and remove the inhabitants. They figure it's going to be over a year before they can remediate the damage. You can see many things going on there. And the devastation is pretty significant. And there were houses floating out into the Bering Sea. So you can see that there. And amazingly, the runway seems to be intact, so they can get out to them. So that was something special. And the devastation is, as you can see here, is quite pronounced. So on that, Trump has already, unlike the past president, or Mr. Autopin, Trump has already, this is on Truth Social, Donald Trump. I just informed Governor Mike Dunleavy that based on his request, I am approving $25 million to help Alaska recover from the major typhoon they experienced earlier this month. It is my honor to deliver for the great state of Alaska, which I won big in 2016, 2020, and 2024. Alaska, I will never let you down. So have you ever heard of, you're pretty far up north there, typhoons like up near Iceland or Greenland, Paul?
No, I mean, in all honesty, Gene, I haven't even heard about this in the news. This is very strange that it's been played down so much. Maybe because it's one of Trump's strong states that he won big in, as he rightly said there. It's just, wow. I did not realize how much damage was done.
Yeah. So I don't see how a typhoon would have had the energy from that ocean at the Bering Sea, where it's pretty darn cold year round. So to be able to continue all the way up there, I think it's the harp playing. They're playing harp up there. So then not only is Trump helping Alaska, but also here on Truth Social, I just spoke with Governor Mike Kehoe, says Donald Trump, of the great state of Missouri, and told him I am approving $2.5 million in individual assistance after severe storms, high winds, large hail, flash flooding, and tornadoes, which occurred earlier this year. I won the Show Me State 3 times, again, the same years, and it is my honor to deliver for these incredible patriots. And this is such a change from Autopin with the chemical spill and hurricanes and all kinds of disasters, not a penny, but everything to Ukraine. So wonderful to have a president that actually cares about our country. And not just that, not just Alaska and Missouri, but also here on Truth Social. Again, I just finished speaking with Governor Jim Pilot of the great state of Nebraska and told him that I have approved $15 million for the recovery efforts from the major storms that they experienced. Nebraska is a special place, and it is my honor to support the incredible people of the Cornhusker State. And you would think that's the last one, but it's not, because there's a little bit of changes going on. And in his own way, Trump is continuing to administer for things. So what this is on X, the general at General MC News, breaking: President Trump's administration is gearing up to launch the country's first ever, and I say about time, National Guard response force prepared to handle potential nationwide civil unrest. Yeah, I think we figured you out, Cabal. You were planning this, and Trump's ahead of you. With units trained in chemical, biological, and nuclear emergencies, and expected to be fully operational by April 1st of 2026. And I can guarantee a big part of that is already operational and ready to go.
So this is from Julie Donuts on X. The military isn't waiting on orders. It's been operating under them. PEADS. PEADS.
Presidential Emergency Action Documents, PEAD. Activated. President Trump activated the emergency powers. FEMA reorganized. DHS realigned. While the media screamed distraction, President Trump pulled the trigger. The PEADS, PEADS, activated Executive Order 13848, now enforced. This was never a retreat. It was an ambush. These aren't laws. They're wartime kill codes. No Congress, no debates. These documents grant the president ultimate authority in a state of national emergency. They authorize the following: military arrests, asset seizures, communications blackouts, tribunals, full-blown wartime response to foreign subversion, and here's the shocker: they were never deactivated. The military isn't waiting on orders. It's already operating under them. Executive Order 13848 was the trap. Signed in 2018, designed for one thing: foreign interference in a U.S. election. Renewed repeatedly, ignored by the media. Now it's active. With this executive order, President Trump does not need approval to strike. The moment 2020 was stolen, the hammer came down. FEMA has been restructured, not for hurricanes, but for national control. The DHS is now a shadow force neutralizing threats under domestic emergency law. The Department of War is running under the Law of War Manual, designed specifically for this kind of irregular conflict. This isn't politics. This is war. The deep state mocked the storm, and now they're drowning in it. President Trump didn't just walk away. He launched the most devastating counteroffensive in U.S. history. The storm is not coming. The storm is here.
And that's the fact. The storm is here. So welcome to the storm, Cabal. And on we go. So this is really incredible. It's real short, but this has just impressed the heck out of me about the Amish, how incredible they are. This is on X and American AF at IAN and Patriot. Talk about teamwork. That is incredibly impressive. Carry an entire barn. So if you don't follow Promethean Action on YouTube, this gal and another lady do that together. They have phenomenal coverage of many, many live things nowadays. This is on X. It's Promethean Action at Promethean Action. Breaking: Soviet KGB files revealed JFK and Khrushchev planned a peace bridge connecting the U.S. and Russia through the Bering Strait. Trump just tormented Zelensky with the same project yesterday. Is this why they killed Kennedy? The map that could flip the globalist chessboard. And we'll watch just a little bit of this. You have where to find it. You can also go, like I said, on YouTube and go subscribe. I highly recommend to Promethean Action.
The Russian government revealed its most secret weapon this week. That's a map of the Bering Strait joining the United States and Russia. It was included in the secret Soviet KGB files on the Kennedy assassination, which were delivered to Representative Anna Paulina Luna on Tuesday. The project was called the Kennedy-Khrushchev World Peace Bridge. Only a few documents from the previously secret Soviet files on the Kennedy assassination have been translated from the Russian. They were delivered to Congresswoman Luna by the Russian ambassador to the United States. Luna chairs the House committee, which is looking into declassifying our nation's political secrets. Despite the language barrier, all the usual Kennedy assassination experts are spouting their theories about whether the documents are authentic and whether anything from Russia can ever be trusted. And as usual, they are missing the forest for the trees. It's the Kennedy-Khrushchev Peace Bridge, which is important, not some new tidbits about Lee Harvey Oswald in Russia or Mexico or LBJ's suspected complicity in the assassination. Kirill Dmitriev heads Russia's sovereign wealth fund and is very, very close to President Putin. He has repeatedly said that this project's revival is at the center of U.S.-Russian discussions about new economic relations after the Ukraine war ends. In his most recent post, he says that Elon Musk's Boring Company is the right contractor for this tunnel project.
And I want to point out that over here in Russia, they're talking also about creating an American town at the other end of the bridge.
It would now be called the Trump-Putin Tunnel and join the U.S. mainland with Russia. But its ultimate endpoint would be in Africa.
So that's basically what I wanted to cover on that. She goes into all kinds of impact it does, as she always does, a really good job, how it impacts the world all over the place. So on we go.
So this is from Kirill Dmitriev on X. Breaking, President Trump says he finds the idea of a Putin-Trump tunnel between Russia and Alaska proposed yesterday interesting. Zelensky is not happy with this idea. The tunnel's discussions begin.
Yeah, and there's the same, what you just saw. So this is for real from the Soviet documents, again, released by Republican Representative Luna, Kennedy-Khrushchev World Peace Bridge. So we'll play this 17-second quick thing from Trump here.
This came up yesterday, a tunnel from Russia to Alaska. That's an interesting. What do you think of that, Mr. President? Do you have any ideas? How do you like that idea?
I'm not happy with this.
I don't think you're going to like it. I don't think he liked it. I don't think he liked it.
President Trump, do you think that?
I'm not happy with it. Yeah, I didn't think you would be.
So this is from Tina Zimmerman on X. Wake up, 3,000 trafficked women. Women are all pregnant. 5th generation warfare.
Immigrant operation, and they're running 36 pregnant women and a bunch of other mothers and children up to the Catholic facilities right now as we speak. They tried to call the police to get media off the property, and the police know that what they're doing is trying to stop our First Amendment right from happening. So here you go, folks. This happens all hours of the day, all hours of the night. Take a look for yourself. Look at how young some of these pregnant girls are. What is happening? This is absolutely heartbreaking.
You can know exactly how they're using these women. Pretty darn obvious. So this is terrible. This is just such a travesty. 3,000 trafficked women rescued. I want to go into the illegal situation from Rapid Response 47, reposted by Carolyn Levitt on, I believe this is X. 175,000 Americans apply for jobs at ICE. So a lot of people want to deal with this situation of the illegals. And the Democrats from Stephen Miller, reposted this from Mike Lee. There are two reasons to do a thing like this, and what the Democrats are doing are trying to launch a master ICE tracker on their website, which is actually against the law because it's in obstruction of justice. So first, it assists legals in evading law enforcement and enables attack, secondly, on ICE officers. So this is the Democrats' ongoing travesty to this country's laws. And from Rapid Response 47 on X, J.B. Pritzker, once again, comparing the Trump administration to NAZI's, claims there are fake ideas that dangerous illegal immigrants are living in the United States. Of the more than 480,000, that is impressive, illegals arrested under President Trump, 70% have criminal charges or convictions. And from the general, breaking, the Trump administration is ending the practice that allows immigration judges to permanently release illegal immigrants back into the United States. No more catch and release garbage. And from Nick Sorter on X, breaking, major illegal immigrant roundups are set to take place in San Francisco Bay as soon as tomorrow, per the San Francisco Chronicle. Gavin Newsom about to be big mad. National Guard is also expected to be deployed to assist federal agents, and that's already been done. They're all going back. Hallelujah. And Gavin Newsom looks pretty upset. He will be very upset. And from Barron Trump on X, throwback, Jen Psaki and Rachel Maddow laughing hysterically at MSNBC, mocking Virginia families for daring to worry about Biden's open border cash letting illegals in. Fast forward, that exact nightmare just hit home. An illegal from El Salvador sentenced to 30 years for repeatedly raping an 11-year-old girl in Virginia. Psaki, Maddow, MSNBC, you owe every Virginia parent an apology. Who's laughing now? Exactly. And finally on that area, the FBI from Donald Trump on Truth Social, under my administration, is doing an incredible job since January 20th. More than 28,000 violent criminals have been arrested, record-breaking, with over 6,000 illegal weapons seized, more than 1,700 child predators, and 300 human traffickers taken off the streets, 5,000 innocent children rescued, 2,000 criminal enterprises disrupted, 1,900 kilos of fentanyl, enough to kill 125 million people, taken out. Historic results. We are bringing law and order back to America. Cash, Dan, and men and women of the FBI are doing a tremendous job making America safe again. Any comments, Paul?
The transparency is completely amazing with President Trump. We're only 10 months into the year as well, and look at everything he has accomplished. I mean, the trafficking is one of the biggest things on the planet. The illegal migrants that most of have criminal pasts. This is all common sense stuff, and Trump is doing his best to expose this in real time for us as he's doing it. I love it. Transparency is the key to a bright future.
Absolutely, and I couldn't agree. And talking about transparency, now to the truth about the East Wing demolishment. This is from Joe M on X at General Joe M17. You're told demolishing the East Wing is about building a new ballroom. It used to be a swimming pool, and they went over the top of it. And from the Getty Museum, we think we know what they do, wet work kind of things with children and swimming pools. So this goes right to that. What if I told you it was about demolishing underground tunnels? That's the tunnels that you saw when I was up with Linda Paris showing the kids being escorted out, and they bring the kids in during the different administrations for pizza and hot dogs. You're told the shutdown is due to inability for DNRs to reach an agreement. What if I told you it was about resets, appointments for Trump's judges who will be overseeing the legal takedown of the cabal? Much is happening. Takedown of the cabal and destroying the underground tunnels and cleaning them out. There's the truth for you. So this is huge. This is something so phenomenal, it's hard to even imagine. So it's just something to really see Trump cleaning up the house at home and also helping to do things abroad. So thank you, Donald Trump, our president. And so on we go.
This is from News Baron Trump on X. Breaking: Republican James Comer's official review found zero connection between President Trump and Epstein's trafficking network. Records and witness testimony fully clear Trump of any wrongdoing, while pointing straight to Bill Clinton, who kept close ties with Epstein for years. Trump is 100% innocent. Clinton, that's where the trail leads.
Let's be clear. Democrats don't care about transparency or accountability in this matter. The evidence we've gathered does not implicate President Trump in any way. Public reporting, survivor testimony, and official documents show that Bill Clinton had far closer ties to Epstein.
That's clear.
This is from Leading Report on X. Breaking: Prince Andrew surrenders his royal titles, including Duke of York, as per the BBC. Well, this is an exciting one indeed.
Yep, I thought you'd like that one. So he's abducting, he's remitting his title, or being forced to actually, because of the Epstein situation. So he was close friends, and of course we've seen the pictures and everything before. Wow, things are really coming out. They're cleaning up the world.
This is Based Hungary on X. Breaking: Polish Iwa Zachikowska tears into Ursula von der Leyen for 90 seconds. You want war? Send your husbands and your sons to the front lines, not ours. We need more people to rise up like this. I saw that speech. It was brilliant.
Yes, and this is fantastic.
Europeans are becoming poorer and poorer because of you. You are the face of the migration pact, and I'm talking to you as a woman to a woman, as a mother to a mother. How can you not be ashamed of promoting the migration pact, which means that millions of women and children in Europe feel endangered, threatened on the streets of their cities? You are responsible for every rape, every violent attack, every tragedy caused by illegal migrants, because you are inviting them to come to Europe. And for what you're doing, you should actually go to prison and not to the European Commission. Your presence as the President of the European Commission means a further collapse of the European Union. What do we think about your European Green Deal? This is what we think about this. This is what we think about the Migration Pact. You're not even looking at me. That's a shame.
Yeah, that's what we think about your green scam. Tear that sucker right up.
Rapid Response 47 on X. At POTUS, we attacked a submarine. That was a drug-carrying submarine built specifically for the transportation of massive amounts of drugs. Just so you understand, this was not an innocent group of people.
That was in a submarine, right? We attacked a submarine, and that was a drug-carrying submarine built specifically for the transportation of massive amounts of drugs, just so you understand. This was not an innocent group of people. I don't know too many people that have submarines. And that was an attack on a drug-carrying, loaded-up submarine.
That is just amazing. U.S. Navy, go. That's U.S. Navy working for you. I've played in ops where they try to find us. Of course, nuclear submarines are way hard, but that wasn't hard for them.
This is by Aaron Rupar on X. RFK Jr. Today, the average teenager in this country has 50% of the sperm count, 50% of the testosterone of a 65-year-old man. Our girls are hitting puberty 6 years early. Our parents aren't having children.
Today, the average teenager in this country has 50% of the sperm count, 50% of the testosterone as a 65-year-old man. Our girls are hitting puberty 6 years earlier. And that's bad, but also our parents aren't having children. Parents who want to have children do not have access. I have 7 children. I feel that God has blessed me with that, and I can't imagine how different my life would be if I did not have that blessing.
And there was a piece I was going to cover, but I didn't think we have time. He also did a statement that a parent's job is to decide if to follow a doctor's recommendations about vaccines and other such things. So he's definitely the right person, the right man for that job.
This is from Maha Action on X. RFK Jr. When my uncle was president, the fertility rate in this country was 3.5%. Today, it is 1.6%. The amount of fertility you need to keep your population is 2.1%. We are below replacement. That is a national security threat to our country.
When my uncle was president, the fertility rate in this country was 3.5%. Today, it is 1.6%. The replacement rate, in other words, the amount of fertility that you need in order to keep your population even, is 2.1%. We are below replacement right now. That is a national security threat to our country. And we know why this is happening. And President Trump is addressing the root causes through his MAHA agenda of reducing endocrine disruptors, the exposure to chemicals that decrease fertility.
And I would think very likely one of them would be fluoride. Do you have similar statistics like that in the UK, Paul? Do you know?
We've got those statistics, Gene. And I've got one more statistic to give you. Do you know if your fertility rate drops below 1.2%, your country dies outright? It just dies. You can't replace quick enough without extreme measures. I mean, we're down to, I think it's 1.6% as well in the UK. The migrant population that are coming in are at about 2.1, 2.2. So within 30 years, we will be replaced.
Yeah, you'll be replaced by illegals. What a travesty. That is absolutely a travesty. All planned by the deep state. So this is Eric Doherty, and I wanted to place this, let you think about what we said a little bit earlier, and go deeper into the more precise numbers of what Kash Patel's putting out about the children that were saved. 5,400 have been located, victims of criminals. The FBI has found and located 5,400 children. This is a 30% increase year to date over the last administration. This is amazing. Kash has unleashed federal police for good. Violent crimes against children arrests alone are up 10%. Director Patel also unveiled amazing overall crime crackdown stats. In 3 months, you've had 8,700 arrests of violent criminals. You've had 2,200 firearms seized off the streets permanently to safeguard our communities. You had 421 kilograms of fentanyl seized. Just to put that in perspective, that's enough to kill 55 million Americans alone. You had 2,100 indictments in 3 months from June to September. That in itself would be a historic four-year presidency. You did that in 7 months because you let good cops be cops. In 7 months, you've had 28,600 arrests of violent felons in just 7 months alone because of your leadership and the dedication of the men and women at the FBI. This number is historic by every metric. 28,000 people have been arrested, violent felons alone. I always had faith in Kash, so we'll listen to this one here and listen to him going through what I just read.
A 3-month span, you had 8,700 arrests of violent criminals. You had 2,200 firearms seized off the streets permanently to safeguard our communities. You had 421 kilograms of fentanyl seized. Just to put that in perspective, that's enough to kill 55 million Americans alone. You had 45,000 kilograms of cocaine seized. And thanks to our Department of Justice partners, you had 2,100 indictments in 3 months from June to September alone. Mr. President, that in and of itself would be historic for a 4-year presidency. You did that in 7 months because you let good cops be cops, and you partnered us with the right people, the Department of Justice, to put the handcuffs on and bring them to court and put them in prison. And if that weren't enough, when you look at the year, for the entire 7-month period that we're talking about here, if you look at the past 4 years of the Biden administration, 16,000, 17,000, 15,000, 15,000. That's the number of arrests year over year of violent felons in this country for the Biden administration. Mr. President, in 7 months, you have 28,600 arrests of violent felons in just 7 months alone.
Look at that jump. That is stunning.
Because of your leadership and the dedication of the men and women at the FBI who want to go out there and do the job they were prevented from doing because that department used to be weaponized and politicized. And this is what happens when you take out the fangs of weaponization. This number is historic by every metric. 28,000 people have been arrested, violent felons alone. And then when you go over there and look at some of these charts, if you don't mind, I'll just hop over here. Look at the metrics for not just violent crime, but the homeland. Mr. President, during your administration, the FBI has found and located 5,400 children. That is a 30% increase year to date over the last administration. Violent crimes against children arrests alone are up 10%. Gang arrests are up 210% in the last 7 months alone. And transnational organized crime, which Stephen Miller has been a great partner in, is up over 12% alone. These numbers are historic just as a snapshot. But just so people don't think we're focusing on violent crime alone, the national security mission, Mr. President, under your leadership has never been stronger.
That is absolutely phenomenal. Any comments, Paul?
It's amazing when federal services are allowed to do their job. I mean, just going back to the story earlier on in the show, applications to ICE are up 100,000+. I mean, this is people believing in the system again. It's showing across the board. And they're making the streets safe. You can't not love what's happened in the last 7 months.
Yeah, I totally agree. And one of the things I love that's happening from X22 on X, John Bolton has surrendered to authorities. This was October 17th, following his indictment. One by one, they are falling. Let's watch the march.
Security advisor John Bolton arriving at a United States District Court in Greenbelt, Maryland. He is expected to surrender after being indicted on 18 counts over the alleged mishandling of classified documents. Bolton faces 8 counts of transmission of national defense information and 10 counts of retention of national defense information. The documents contained intel on future attacks, foreign missile launches, and human intel sources.
That is huge. And then that's not the only one going down. Let's go over here.
David Nino Rodriguez on X, breaking: the Pentagon has revoked press badges from nearly all major US news outlets, effectively blocking their access after journalists refused to agree to new security rules introduced by Pete Hegseth aimed at controlling sensitive information. Reporters were seen exiting the building. According to the Pentagon Press Association, today the Department of Defense stripped Pentagon reporters of almost every major American media organization of their credentials. This action came after reporters rejected a new media policy that in effect threatens to criminalize national security reporting and leave those who comply vulnerable to prosecution.
Plugging up the leaks, that's what's going on. And talking about various arrests and things.
And this is MAGA Storm on X. Breaking: President Trump has officially revoked Barack Obama's security clearance, along with dozens of other former officials tied to the Obama-Biden era. He just signed an executive memo stripping them of access to all classified briefings, secure facilities, and White House-level intelligence. Obama, Clinton, Harris, Biden, all locked out. America has finally taken its secrets back.
Not only are they locked out, I think we're going to see them locked up.
Go on, Gene, I've got to ask you, which one of those 4 do you think will be arrested first?
Well, here's a good start.
Baron Trump on X, breaking: Obama's former CIA director, John Brennan, has officially been referred to the DOJ for criminal prosecution for lying to Congress. The man who weaponized intelligence against Americans is finally facing justice. It's about time they lock him up.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think possibly Hillary would be in line pretty quickly here. And so this is from Lord Bebo on X, replying to @MyLordBebo. Bolton's indictment says he kept more than 1,000 pages of diaries containing top secret information and shared them with relatives. Full indictment as PDF in my Telegram channel. So, oh my word. I mean, if when I was in the military and that was found out, I don't know if you'd ever see the light of day. You might just see a hanging rope is what you might just see. It's just insane what's going on.
This is MJ Truth Ultra on X. Holy shizzles! The DOJ just dropped a major bombshell. Federal prosecutors in Miami indicted Smartmatic and its parent company, SGO Corporation Limited, on charges of conspiring to bribe foreign officials and money laundering. Ha ha ha. According to court filings, company executives allegedly funneled about $1 million in bribes to a top election official there. In return, Smartmatic snagged contracts worth a whopping $199 million to provide voting tech. The charges invoke the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, FCPA, the US law cracking down on overseas bribery by American-linked firms. It's a rare move. Companies don't usually get indicted outright. They often settle quietly to dodge trials. Smartmatic, the main player, and SGO Corporation Limited, its Bermuda-based parent, targets three key guys: Roger Alejandro Penata Martinez, Venezuelan, accused of bribery and money laundering; Jorge Miguel Vasquez, a US citizen, same charges; and Eli Marino, Venezuelan, hit with money laundering and conspiracy accounts. There is also an unnamed official who is the alleged bagman on the receiving end.
Yep, I agree. It's hilarious. So more on the Smartmatic situation. Warners, this is on X. According to Smartmatic website, 2 million secure election-ready devices deployed worldwide, 30-plus countries, 6.5 billion votes. Smartmatic's business model is election theft. Yeah, just replacing the Dominion machines. The company is nothing but a cynical criminal enterprise. I could not agree more. That's exactly what it is. And wanted to go into this little article here.
This is Shadow of Ezra on X. Secretary of State Marco Rubio reveals that UFOs have been observed flying over restricted US nuclear facilities, which are not from our world. Marco Rubio claims people have lost their lives speaking out about these things. The upcoming documentary, The Age of Disclosure, will expose an 80-year global cover-up of non-human intelligent life. It features testimony from members of government and intelligence communities who claim to have direct knowledge of what has been hidden.
And this makes me laugh because I was blamed of making this stuff up about aliens before. Now you got Rubio talking about disclosure. It's absolutely hilarious. Paul, did you have the same situation in the UK?
Yes. If you mention the word aliens, people glaze over very quickly. Let's just say that. But I'm sorry, but it's obvious that there are aliens out there, and dare I say it, I think a lot of our technological advances have come because of that.
Yep, absolutely. So it just makes me laugh. And back to the world stage.
Donald J. Trump on Truth Social. I am outraged that the International Maritime Organization is voting in London this week to pass a global carbon tax. The United States will not stand for this global green new scam tax on shipping and will not adhere to it in any way, shape or form. We will not tolerate increased prices on American consumers or the creation of a green new scam bureaucracy to spend your money on their green dreams. Stand with the United States and vote no in London tomorrow.
There you go, Paul. Right up your alley.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me started on the green scam.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I was talking and putting pieces out about this years ago. This stupid stuff like this, too.
This is Secretary Marco Rubio again. This week, the UN is attempting to pass the first global carbon tax, which will increase energy, food, and fuel costs across the world. We will not allow the UN to tax American citizens and companies. Under the leadership of POTUS, the US will be a hard no. We call on other nations to stand alongside the United States in defense of our citizens and sovereignty.
So they're pushing this green scam baloney in every way they can. Man, oh man, it gets insane. And what's it really about?
Shadow of Ezra. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says this is only the beginning as the tokenization of everything is underway. Money, property, and even personal identity will soon exist in digital form. He calls it a major opportunity for BlackRock, saying the plan is to move beyond traditional financial assets by digitally repotting them into a new system.
And that goes into the carbon tax, the green scam, the digital ID that Starmer's putting in UK, all of that, right, Paul?
Yeah, exactly. And it's terrible because blockchain technology is supposed to bring transparency to the world, but you've got the cabal, the globalists, They're butchering the technology for their own twisted means.
Yeah, so I'm so glad we have Trump in charge of the U.S. and cleaning up the world. So this is from Eric Doherty again on X. Holy baloney. I'll just say it that way. President Trump just revealed something huge. It could be $20 trillion of investments in America by the end of the year. No country's done anywhere even near that. Biden did less than $1 trillion in 4 years. We're going to do over $17 trillion in 8 months. By the time we win, we could do over $20 trillion. A big part of this is the tariffs.
Chips. I put big tariffs on chips unless they're made here. There's no tariff if they make them here. And all those companies are coming back from Taiwan. They're coming back from all over the world. And they're coming back fast. You know better than anybody else. $17 trillion. It could be $20 trillion by the end of the first year, my first year.
Investment in America.
Investing in America, $20 trillion. No country's ever done anywhere even near that, like a fraction of that. Biden did less than $1 trillion in 4 years. I did 20 trillion. We're going to do over 17 trillion in 8 months. By the time we end, we could do over $20 trillion. There's never, in China, no matter where you go, there's never been anything like it. We are building up something that's unbelievable. And a big part of that are the tariffs.
That is, by the time if it continues at that rate, the end of his presidency, you're talking over 80 times what Autopin did in his presidency.
This is MAGA Voice on X. Breaking. President Trump stuns America by saying any money he gets from lawsuits will be donating to charity. I gave up my salary. I didn't take it in the first 4 years. Not taking it in these 4 years. I love President Trump.
So do I. And this is just stunning. All the court cases he's won, he's donating the monies to charity.
You know, I get no salary. I gave up my salary. It's a good salary. Not as much as these guys make, but that's okay. It's a lot of money. And I don't, as you know, I didn't take it in the first 4 years. I'm not taking it in these 4 years either. But as far as all of the litigation and everything that's been involved, yeah, they probably owe me a lot of money. But if I get money from our country, I'll do something nice with it, like give it to charity or give it to the White House where we restore the White House. And we're doing a great job in the White House. As you know, the ballroom is...
And now for some more world truth.
This is by Dutch417 on X. Pedophiles run the world. At Real LT Rico Bossy. Great analyses.
Buying Ferraris on the tragedy of Australian girls that get themselves into trouble. Now, there's an old saying, love them both, the child and the mother. You've got to love them both. But that's now legal. That's being slipped in. Now, you can argue interest rates all you want to, and you can argue whether you should open COVID or not, open the economy after COVID. But people have to realise that what is being degraded beyond repair is the Australian soul. Because if we can kill babies, it doesn't matter. The rest is detail. The country's lost. If we are going to allow government to kill babies for profit...
And that goes for any government on earth.
Then it doesn't matter how nice your house is. This is the country's lost on every level. Second issue. And here's one that most people don't know about and I only heard about recently. And once I looked into it and found it was true, it horrified me. In 2015, Senator Bill Heffernan, in a Senate committee of some sort, I can't remember, he held up a police document. And on that police document, which was the result of the Wood Royal Commission into child sexual abuse, was a list of 28 names, including one former Prime Minister and judges. And that list of names were alleged pedophiles, the VIP pedophile ring. Now, he couldn't mention the names because there was a suppression order on them. And a 90-year suppression order was put on those names by the Liberal government. And the comment was, these names can't be released because it will undermine the Australians' faith in the judiciary. Now think about that statement, what that admits. We would rather have pedophiles raping children wearing the robes of judicial office rather than face the truth and say, you know what, we need to clean this out, because there's two parts to this. The first part is The pedophile is the most abhorrent crime. It's the one crime that you can mention across Australia and the term capital punishment comes up.
It's one of the only morals in jail.
That's it. Exactly right. The second one is, if you've got someone, a pedophile, as a prime minister or a minister or a judge, then you can leverage any result you want from them. You can get all the legislation you want. You can get the judicial outcome that you want. All you have to do is threaten them to reveal it.
So, I mean, oh my gosh. The state this world is in, and thank goodness the Alliance is cleaning it up.
Adam Mokhzar on X, JD Vance. I think that Europe is at risk of engaging in civilizational suicide. They are unable or unwilling to control their borders. You see them starting to limit the free speech of their citizens.
And I think that includes the UK, am I right?
Oh, Gene, 1,000,000% right.
And I'm not, yes, the Europeans annoy me sometimes, and yes, I disagree with them on certain issues, but we have to remember that is the cradle of Western civilization. The entire idea of Christian civilization that led to the founding of the United States of America, that was formed in Europe. The cultural bonds, the religious bonds, these things are going to last beyond political disagreements, but I think that Europe, and frankly, I would have said this about America a year ago, but Europe is at risk, I think, of engaging in civilizational suicide. They are unable to, or unwilling, too many countries to control their borders. You see them starting to push back against that, and good, that's a good thing. You see them starting to limit the free speech of their own citizens, even as those citizens are protesting against things like the border invasion that got Donald Trump and a number of European leaders elected. So look, I want Europe to thrive. I want them to be an important ally. Part of that is going to be Europe respecting its own people, respecting its own sovereignty, and America can't do that job for them. If you have a country like Germany, where you have another few million immigrants come in from countries that are totally culturally incompatible with Germany, then it doesn't matter what I think about Europe. Germany will have killed itself, and I hope they don't do that, because I love Germany and I want Germany to thrive.
And I think that applies to the UK and everywhere else. If you let a majority of people that are incompatible, a massive amount of people that are incompatible with your country into your country, it's suicide for the country. It's going to completely destroy the country. What do you think, Paul?
Gene, some new guidance has come out from the government this week, and it is now a subcategory of being classed as a terrorist if you blame the problems on a country because of illegal migrants not integrating into your society. So technically, me saying that makes me a terrorist now.
Wow. Wow. Better be careful out there, Paul.
Yeah. It's getting a little bit ropey in the UK, but I still have faith. I'm still smiling here.
Yeah. Wow. From leading report, Governor Ron DeSantis confirms he is putting the abolition of property taxes for Florida homeowners on the ballot in November of 2026. Needs 60% of voters in Florida to do that. So vote, get out and vote, people. Oh my goodness, that is so fantastic. Go ahead, Paul.
Gene, they're just floating the idea in the UK of property taxes. Can you believe that?
Yes, absolutely. The UK is insane. Sorry, but that's my take on it.
Yeah.
At least your government. UK is a good place. The people are great.
And this is from Congressman Brandon Gill on X. Your No Kings rally is literally sponsored by the Communist Party.
So this is the sponsors, and on News Talk, I'll do more on this and pull up more information on the sponsors. It's insane. This is from Chuck Schumer. I encourage Americans everywhere who love this country, who care about our democracy, to march peacefully. Yeah, right. If you knew what you're really marching for and who's funding you, I don't think you would be marching. And I love this truck.
This is from Liz Churchill. Don't get vaccinated. We're more funeral homes. Oh my God.
I love the advertisement. And it's applicable too. It's on a funeral home truck. It's like that's some pretty sarcasm or pretty interesting humor, let's put it that way. So from MAGA Voice, breaking, President Trump stuns America by saying San Francisco is next on the list of cities to go into and clean up the mess. So it's going to be sending the National Guard and the ICE into San Francisco. Gavin Newsom's going to be really unhappy.
At the request of government officials, which is always nice, that you start looking at San Francisco. I think we can make San Francisco, it was one of our great cities 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and now it's a mess. And we have great support in San Francisco, so I'd like to recommend that for inclusion, maybe in your next group. You'll get great support. Every American deserves to live in a community where they're not afraid of being mugged, murdered, robbed, raped, assaulted, or shot. And that's exactly what our administration is working to deliver.
So in Memphis, Tennessee, they're saying how wonderful it is to be able to walk down the street, for their kids to play in the yard now. So it is making a difference.
This is Whiplash 347 on X. Boom! The Great Reclamation has begun. The Supreme Court just restored Trump's constitutional power to remove rogue commissioners from federal agency. For the first time in 90 years, the president can clean house. The walls of bureaucratic tyranny are cracking. Since 1935, the presidency has been a hostage. A hidden ruling called Humphrey Executors versus United States created a shield around unelected bureaucrats buried inside so-called independent agencies. They could not be fired, not by Congress, not by the people, not even by the commander-in-chief. These were the deep state's castles inside the government, protected, untouchable, writing rules with the power of law while answering to no one. For decades, they dictated policy, destroyed accountability, and made every president a figurehead in his own house. That ended this week in a ruling few expected, but history will never forget. The Supreme Court confirmed that President Trump has full constitutional authority to remove Democratic commissioners Mary Boyle, Richard Trumka Jr., and Alexander Hohen-Sarek from the Consumer Product Safety Commission. The court reminded the nation that executive power belongs to the president alone, not to agencies, not to boards, not to faceless lawyers. The 6-3 decision has detonated the foundation of bureaucratic immunity. Trump can now terminate any commissioner who obstructs reform, dismantle ideological mandates, and reclaim executive control over agencies that have operated like private empires. The ruling sets a precedent that can sweep through every corner of the federal maze. FTC, SEC, NLRB, CDC, FDA, DOE. Hundreds of unelected operators who hid behind the term independent are now exposed. The Consumer Product Safety Commission is only the beginning. Nearly 700 positions across Washington fall under the same model. With this judgment, Trump holds the legal weapon he was denied in his first term. The sword is back in his hands. Inside the deep state, panic has already begun. For decades, they didn't need to win elections. They only needed to control who stayed behind. By embedding loyal operatives inside untouchable posts, they guaranteed their agenda survived every presidency. They wrote laws under the cover of regulation. They censored industries through safety standards. They shifted policy without ever standing for a vote. That structure is now collapsing. That is why the media is silent. They understand what this means. If Trump uses this authority, and he will, the entire architecture of shadow governance will fall. Agencies that weaponize policy for ideology will be stripped forever. Mandates will be rescinded. Political infiltrators will be removed. The deep state's invisible army is finally within reach. Trump's second term begins now. With the power he was denied in 2016, the presidency is no longer a cage. It is a command post. He can purge the administrative state, rebuild federal institutions that answer to the people, and restore a government that serves its citizens instead of its masters. This is the Great Reclamation, the end of 90 years of executive humiliation, the day the balance returns. The deep state buried the presidency under red tape and called it democracy, but the chains have been cut, and Trump now holds the axe.
Yeah, so again, this decision is not about staffing, it's about sovereignty. The hidden coup that began 90 years ago has been reversed. The unelected state no longer outranks the elected when the legal scaffolding that protected the regime is being dismantled piece by piece while they're out on not coming back into government. Trump is cleaning house. Thank you, Trump.
This is Caroline Lever on X. The Democrats are now admitting that they are intentionally causing American families to suffer with their reckless government shutdown. What is wrong with them?
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leveraged times we have.
Oh, you took that responsibility. I bet you're suffering like heck. Uh-huh. The American people are the one that are suffering, not you. So we'll wrap it up with something nice and easy here and something to calm down. But any comments before we wrap it up, Paul?
It's a little bit exciting, isn't it, Gene? What's coming?
It surely is. So I'm excited. So you can hear it in my interviews now. Things are coming and we can see it worldwide. It is just an amazing time to live in. And it's if you don't believe there's an alliance now, I don't know, you got to have your head in a pothole in the middle of a highway. So from We Don't Deserve Cats, Cats Are a Blessing on X, DNA of James Bond. So that is the James Bond theme, so I can't play the music, but just the video itself is hilarious. So you can, yeah, you can do the music in your head. That is brilliant. It's like cat burglars. Cat agents on a special. Look at this guy in the middle there was amazing. Wow. That's mind-boggling. That's a mess. Yeah. That's impressive. One paw, whack.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
That was cool. So just amazing. Cats are amazing. They're amazing animals. From Wholesome Side of X at It's Me, Earth's Truly. Tough parenting. Dog mother successfully raises her babies. This is so sweet.
Sit. 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 Ziva, you don't get a treat till she sits. No. Nuggets!
There's some good parents.
Yeah.
Get down. Oh my word.
The door's over here.
Stop it.
Get him. Get him. Who's who he talking to? Okay, that's it. That's it. Silence.
Yeah, good parents. That's some seriously good parents there. And now for a scary, fearsome wild beast that's been discovered in the wild from puppies at Pup Lovers on X. This is terrifying. Watch out. Be careful, people.
Oh, no. No, honey. What's your problem? What are your problems, huh? Ooh.
Be careful out there, people. That's a wild one there. And this is just cute beyond belief. The king at XXXXX, the king, so cute.
Well, that's where that comes from.
Hi. Oh, oh my goodness. Hi. 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 Hello. Oh, hello, baby. Let me say hi. Hi. Say, I'm Story. Hi.
Hi. Oh my word, that's so young to say already.
What's up? What's up? Hi. Hi. How are you? Oh, good. Oh, good. Say hello. Hello. Papa. Papa. I love you. I love you.
Probably the first time the baby said that. That's why she's so excited. So one last item and we'll sign out for tonight. I wanted to all to share with you how amazing it is for fathers to give their little girls flowers. So with that, we'll go ahead and close in prayer. Sophie?
Yes. Father, Mother God, the one and only true living God of all creations, we thank you for being here with us this evening. We thank you for your plan to save the world and for the takedown of the cabal. We pray for your blessings and protection for President Trump and also for all those who are helping and assisting all of the military and all those involved in all of the operations that are out there cleaning up the world from the darkness, from the cabal. We thank you for um, the rescue of the children and for all the lives that are being saved as a result of the storm operations out there. We pray for freedom, unity, and peace in the hearts of all the people of the world. Thank you also for your blessing and protection for Paul and his family and Jean and all those listening now or will be listening at a later time. And most of all, we thank you, Father, Mother God, for sending your only begotten Son, Jesus the Christ of God, the healer, the redeemer of all souls and men, the way, the truth, and the life. leading us out of the fallen world and the way back to you. Teteleste.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you, Paul. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. And
See you in a
thank you,
couple of weeks, everyone.
Thank you. Good night, and God bless you all.